Hello, my name is Mark Macron. I've been an attorney licensed to practice law in the states of New York and New Jersey for more than 32 years. I have represented numerous buyers and sellers of real estate in both states, and the one question that continuously comes up is what happens now? What happens in the closing process? And this video today is to assist you in selling your property in the state of New Jersey. It is part of a series of videos of buying and selling property in both states to hopefully help you, assist you in your transaction. Hope you find it helpful. Selling your home in New Jersey. The realtor contract and attorney review. Once you have accepted an offer from a buyer, the realtor will have you sign a realtor-prepared form contract that is used in nearly every real estate transaction in New Jersey. At the time you sign the contract, the realtor will ask you for the name and contact information for your attorney. The buyer will sign the same contract, and at that time the buyer will also give the realtor a small contract deposit. The realtor will then send a copy of the fully signed contract to your attorney and the buyer's attorney. Upon receipt of the contract, your attorney and the buyer's attorney will both review the contract. This is called the attorney review period and lasts 3 days. During the attorney review period, the buyer's attorney will send an attorney review letter to your attorney delineating the changes to be made to the realtor contract. Your attorney, this being the seller's attorney, may do the same and send a letter delineating changes that you would like made. Once the parties agree to changes made by the buyer and the seller, the attorney review period is concluded. The seller and buyer are contractually obligated to each other to sell and buy the property. Shortly after conclusion of attorney review, the buyer will be asked for a larger second deposit to be held in escrow by your attorney. The amount of the second deposit can vary greatly from a small amount to as high as 10%. This figure is negotiable, but the more the buyer puts down on contract, the more attractive they are as the buyer, and that the buyer is demonstrating their seriousness in closing the deal and gambling the loss of the contract deposit should they seek to back out of the deal and breach the contract. The next step in the process is for the buyer to obtain mortgage funds and provide you with proof of a mortgage commitment. As the seller, you now wait for the buyer to obtain a mortgage from the lender. This process can take anywhere from 45 to 90 days. The mortgage approval process includes a review of your buyer's tax returns and other essential financial records. It also includes an appraisal of the value of your home. That means that at some point an appraiser from the lender will visit your home to physically inspect it and conduct an appraisal. Once the lender has agreed to provide your buyer with mortgage funds, the lender will issue a mortgage commitment. Mortgage commitment is a promise from a lender to lend a certain amount of money at a certain interest rate over a given period of time. The buyer is contractually obligated to give a copy of the mortgage commitment to you through his attorney, who will then send it to your attorney. This lets the seller know that the buyer is moving forward in the mortgage process and has obtained necessary funds to complete the transaction. This is very important because you have stopped showing your house to other potential buyers and you are looking forward to completing the transaction and the sale of your home with this buyer. The sale can only happen if the buyer has the necessary funds. Next is for you to address issues raised in the title report, order a payoff letter, and order a water meter reading. The buyer's attorney will also order a title report from a reputable licensed title insurance company or from one of their agents called an abstract company. The title report compiles information about your property, such as ownership and liens on the property, including outstanding mortgages. The title company or buyer's attorney will forward a copy of the title report to your attorney. Your attorney will review the title report for any possible issues. If there are issues with respect to your ownership, or if there are judgments or other outstanding monetary matters, your attorney will discuss them with you. It will then be your obligation to clear these matters with the help of your attorney. If you have a mortgage on your property, you will need to order a payoff letter. A payoff letter is a statement from your lender stating how much is owed on your mortgage to pay it off by a certain date. The payoff amount is not the amount stated on your last mortgage statement. The payoff amount will be higher as it will include interest through the closing date plus any other sums due. Ask your attorney when you should order the payoff letter. Upon receipt of the payoff letter, send it to your attorney without delay. Next, prepare for the closing. While you are waiting for the buyer to obtain their mortgage commitment from the lender, prepare to move by lining up movers, cleaning the house, so that there are no issues when the buyer does their walkthrough or final inspection of the home, typically a day before the closing or just prior to closing on the same day. The house should be vacant and in broom clean condition. Finally, the closing. The moment that you've been waiting for months has arrived. The closing in New Jersey may take place in a variety of manners. Sometimes it will be at the buyer's attorney's office, other times it will be at the title company, and sometimes it will be by mail. Frequently you, as the seller and your attorney, will not be present at the closing, but will have forwarded the fully executed deed and other closing documents to the buyer's attorney or title company. The mortgage documents will be waiting for the buyer's execution at the closing. Once the mortgage documents are signed and the funds due to you as the seller are forwarded to you minus your closing costs, and the deed is taken by the title company for recording, the transaction is closed. You have given a deed to the buyer in exchange for money to you. Congratulations, you have sold your home.